In our last class, we already looked into whole numbers and fractions under rational numbers. And under fraction, we'll talk about the verbal fraction, the decimal fraction, and percentage. So with this, the tools you need to start your journey in mathematics is ready. You've learned how to add, divide, multiply, and subtract fractions. Same goes for decimal, and same goes for percentage. So for today's class, we are going to move into application of what we've learned. And the first application will be under ratio and proportion. Followed by, after ratio and proportion, we are going to look into percentage change. Then with this, we can now go to commercial arithmetic, where we are going to look into percentage profit and loss. Then lastly, we'll look into interest. Simple interest, compound interest, then we can now talk about depreciation. And after that, we can now move to the next chapter, where we are going to look into algebra linked to polynomials, starting with linear, quadratic, cubic, quartic, and the likes. We are going to start with the first one, which is ratio and proportion. Suppose inside this basket or in this container, we have a number of mangoes or oranges. Suppose the total number of oranges here, T. In this case, let's suppose we have 36 oranges. Then we have 3 persons, A, B, C, and they want to share these oranges. If they are to share equally, since they are 3, we just do 36 divided by 3, and that is what? 12. They will each get 12, 12, 12. In that case, that is 1 ratio 1 ratio 1. If it's 1 ratio 1 ratio 1, they will all take 12, 12, 12. But the thing is, most times the sharing will not be equal. So what was the ratio of the sharing? Let's suppose they are to share in the ratio A to B to C. Let's say 3 ratio 4 ratio 5. So these 3 people, they want to share these 36 oranges in 3 to 4 to 5. So A will take a fraction of 36, B will take a fraction, and C will take a fraction. So what will not be the fraction of each? The first is to know the fraction of each. Then by the fraction of each by the total to get what each will collect. For example, in this case, the total fraction is 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is 12. So the fraction of A, let me call it FA, is what? A divided by the total fraction, A plus B plus C. You can do the same thing for fraction of B and C. So that's for B and C. If we add this, we should get 1. Recall, total fraction is always 1. From what we have here, A plus B plus C, 3 plus 4, 7 plus 5, 12. So total ratio is 12. So it means the fraction of A is actually, what is A? 3. 3 over 12. The fraction of B is 4 over 12, not 4. Then the fraction of C is 5 over 12. So this fraction can also be expressed in percentage. We've done that last class. So according to what we have here, the proportion of A, what A is going to receive, will be its fraction multiplied by the total. What's the fraction of A? A over what? A plus B plus C multiplied by the total. So that is what A is going to receive. Same goes for B, and same goes for C. Based on the data we have, so we can say for A, it is equal to what is small a? 3. Okay, this is a fraction, 3 over 5. Over 12 rather, of the total, what is what? 36. For B, it is what? 4 over 12 times total. For C, it is 5 over 12 times the total. What is the total? 36. 12 in 36 is 3, 3 times 3, 9. So A will take 9 oranges. B will take 12 here 3 times 12. That's 12 here 3 times 4, that's 12. And C is taking 12 in this, that's 3 times 5, 15. So out of all the oranges, A will take 9 out of 36. B will take 12 out of 36. C will take what? 15 out of 36. If we have to add the proportion of A, B, and C, we should get the total. What is A? 9. What is B? 12. What is C? 15. 9 plus this will give us 21. 21 plus 15 will give us 36, which is what? The total. So what we have in this red is what is most important. Now, question under ratio and portion, this is the end. This is the end. Question under this topic is easy if you are given the total. But most times or sometimes we have some tricky question whereby you won't be given the total. You will be given the proportion of A. If you are given what the part that A will take, and you are told to get the part B will take, before you can get B, you need to know the total. So if you are not given total, we need to look for the total first. Let's take a question under this case. Then we move to the next one, which is percentage change. 3 friends are to share a number of books in the ratio 2 to 5 to 8. 2 to 5 to 8. Let's say A to B to C. If the least book received is 18, note in this question you are not given total number of books. They said are to share a number of books, which we don't know. We don't know the total. So to get anything, we need to know the total. If the least book received is 18, out of this, who received the least? That's A. 2 is the least. So meaning what A will receive, let's call it capital A, is going to be equal to what? 2 over 2 plus 5 plus 8, 15. Multiplied by the total number of books. So we are told that if the least book received, which is this A, is 18. So in this case, it means A is 18. 2 over 15 times T. What's the question? What is the highest book received? C will receive the highest book. So the highest book C equals to 8 over, addition of this 3 is 15, multiplied by the total that we don't know. So that is why we need to get the total first. So we are given this particular 18 for us to get the total to use here. So from here, how can we get the total? Note in math, this and this can cancel each other. 2 here 1, 2 here is 9. So T times 1 is T. 15 times 9 is 135 books. So it means the total number of books to be shared is 135. In some questions, you'll be given total straight, but in this question, in this case, we are not given. We have to look for the total first. So then we can proceed to get the highest book received, which is 8 over 15 times 135. 15 here, 1, 15 here should be 9. 9 times 8, 72. So 72 books is the highest book that will be received with the person that owns this ratio 8. The least book is 18 as given. So the one at the middle, what will he get? We don't need to use this formula again. Why? Because we know that what A will get plus what B will get and C must equal the total, which is 135. A received 18. For B, let's get what he's going to receive. For C, 72 must give us 135. So if we add this with this, we should get 90. So 18 plus 72 is 9. So 135. So B equals 135 minus 90. From here, B is 45. 45 books. So it means the first person here will take 18. The second one will take 45. The third will take what? Although from the question, this is what you are meant to. This is where you are meant to stop. I just went further to get this. You can also use the same formula for B. B itself equals to, what was the ratio of B? 5. To the total 15 multiplied by the total book shared 135. 15 here 9, 9 times 5, 45. 45 books. Same thing as this. So if you understand this very well, most questions under this part, you should be able to get it, very straightforward. Most questions you see under here with symbol like this, you don't need to get the total. You'll be given the question that you just use directly. Perhaps let's take one example on that is very direct. Now consider this question. Karima, Balkis, and Mary are to share 108 sweets. So we are given the total already, 108. In the ratio 2 to 3 to 4, respectively. It's not written, but let's say respectively. So how many sweets will Mary receive? How many sweets will Mary receive? So Mary is the third person, so the ratio of Mary is what? 4 out of the total. So if you do 2 plus 3 plus 4, you get 9. So the fraction of Mary, the fraction that Mary will receive is going to be 4 out of 9. So what will Mary actually receive? Mary will receive 4/9 of the total 108. So from here, 9 here 1, 9 here 12. From here it means Mary will receive 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 8. 48 sweet. Very straightforward. You can also ask for Karima and Balakis. So you do the same way. This one is simpler and more straightforward than the previous ones. Now, some question under this, you won't be given the ratio at all. But you can be given what you can use to get the ratio. For example, look at this question. A company has a budget of 1.8 million naira to pay 3 workers named Joseph, Emmanuel, and Umar. In this case, we are given the total to be shared between Joseph, Emmanuel, and Umar. And what is it? 1,800,000. So, since you are given the total, no more panic. No much panic. If Joseph, J, is to receive half of Emmanuel's pay, half of means times Emmanuel's pay, Joseph is can be equals to receive half of Emmanuel's pay, and Umar, let's say you, is to receive 3 times as much as Emmanuel. That's 3 as much as Emmanuel. Find their salary. So know their salary, you have to know the ratio of Joseph to Emmanuel to Umar. If you don't know the ratio, we can proceed. From here, we have a fraction here, so I can just bring cross multiply. I can bring the 2 here. So from here, I can say 2j equals to e. And from here, u equals to 3e. To get the ratio, one of those things you can do is to make any of these 3 letters to be 1. You can make any of them to be 1. So you can make j to be 1, e to be 1, u or e to be 1. Just for us to be able to get the ratio. So what I'm going to do here is, I'll make j to be 1 so that e can directly be 2. So if j is 1, then e equals to 2j. That's 2 times 1. So e equals to 2. Then what will be u? U is 3e. From here, what's e? E is 2. That's 3 times 2. So u is 6. So this is j, this is e, this is u. So j ratio e ratio u is going to be equals to 1 ratio 2 ratio 6. You can give any of them 1. If you are given 1 to Umar, if you are put 1 to be 1, so we are going to get Emmanuel to be 1/3. Emmanuel to be 1/3. Then Umar is given 1, Emmanuel is 1/3. Then from here, since Emmanuel is 1/3, so it means 2j equals to 1/3. So you can multiply it. From here, it means 6j equals to 1. Divided by 6, j equals to 1/6. So it means j equals to 1/6. But since we have fractions here, something about mathematics. You can make all these fractions to be whole number. To make fractions to be whole number, multiply through by their LCM. The LCM of 3, 1, and 6 is 6. So if you multiply through by 6, this Emmanuel becomes 2, Umar becomes 6, this one becomes 1. That's j is 1, e is 2, u is 6. You still get the same thing. But in order to avoid having fraction, you come here. You can see that if I give Emmanuel to be 1, Umar can be 3 straight. But if I put Emmanuel to be 1 here, I'll get j to be a fraction. So the best is let j be a whole number. So if j is 1, e will be 2. Then if e is 2, 2 times 3, e will be 6. So the only thing about this question is you are not given the ratio, you have to get it by yourself. So after you know the ratio and you know the total, we are done. So the question says find their salary. So let's just look for one of them. Let's look for Umar's salary. So how much will Umar correct? Umar will receive 6 out of total here is 1 plus 2 plus 6, which is going to be 9. 6/9 times all total 1.8 million. Note, instead of putting 1 here, if you put j to be 2, you are going to get 2, 4, 12. You are still going to get fraction. But the ratio you can cut to the last bit. But it doesn't matter, you still get the answer. From here, 9 in 18 is 2. So that will be 200,000 times 6. and 2 times 6 is 12. So here we are going to have about 1.2 million naira for Umar. Okay, let's get the next one. Emmanuel. For Emmanuel, is going to receive what? What is Emmanuel? 2. 2 out of total 9 times 1.8. So 918 is 2. 200 times 2, that will be what? 400,000. And for Joseph, he's going to take 1 out of 9 of the total. Here Joseph received 200,000. So, and by the time we add everything, we are going to get 1.8. Umar is taking 1.2 million, perhaps he's the CEO. Then the fourth nature of the question they can give you is, you won't give in total, you are not going to give in the ratio. The first question, we are not giving total, but we are giving ratio. Second question, we are giving total and ratio, which is the simplest question. Third, we are giving total, not ratio. Then the fourth part is, we are not going to be giving total, we are not going to be giving the ratio, which is going to be the toughest question. The one that will be most tough. Or is it toughest? Anyhow. So, let's get that question. And after this fourth example, then you have last one, another one. After that, we are done with ratio and proportion. Now look at this question. The thing is, math is simple. You just have to take it step by step. We will follow my classes from the beginning up to where we are currently. You see that if you know the basis, you can build on it. Now, when you see questions like this, don't be scared. Just calm down. 3 business partners are to share the profits made based on the ratio of their investment. So 3 of them invested money. How much you don't know. But we are told that Elon invested double of Bayer's investment. So we can say, let's Elon the small e. Elon invested double of Bayer's investment. Given that Audu, let's say Audu is A. Audu invested 2/3 of Elon investment, that's E. Find Elon's and Audu shares if Bayer received this from the profit. The thing is, they are sharing the profit. Do we know the profit? No. Do we know the ratio of the investment? No. So this is one of the toughest they can ask you. So what I meant to do, we get the ratio, we get the total profit. How do we get the ratio? We've done that one in the previous example. So from here, let's just give a value. Make one of them to be 1. It's not much to use 1. You can use any letter. But it's best to use 1 so that you are not going to get a big fraction. So now let's be the 1. So if Bayer is 1, then Elon is going to be what? 2 times 1, 2. What will be Audu? Audu is 2/3 times what's now E is 2. Which is going to be what? 4/3 because 2 times 2 is 4. But here we have a fraction. We want everything to be whole number. So what are we going to do? All we have below here is 3. So multiply everything through by 3. So 1 times 3, 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 4/3 times 3 will give us 4 because the 3 will cancel. So it means Bayer ratio Elon ratio Audu equals to 3 ratio 6 ratio 4. Is that correct? Yes, it is correct. So we're now told that we are looking for Elon share and Audu share. Let's Elon share be capital E. Audu share be capital E. We are looking for capital E and capital E. But the thing is, we are not given what? Capital B. Because you are given what Bayer received. We are told that Bayer received what? $6,000. And how is it gotten? Bayer is going to receive, what is Bayer? B. Bayer is the first one, 3. 3 out of total ratio here is 3 plus 6 plus 4 is 13. So 3 out of 13, this is the fraction of Bayer. Fraction that Bayer will take of the profit. But we are not giving the total profit T. But in order for us to get the total profit T, that's why I given Bayer's share to be 6,000. So we come here and write 6,000 equals to 3/13 times T. 3 here 1, 3 here will give us 2,000. It is allowed in mathematics. T times 1 is T. 13 times 2,000 will give us what? 26,000. So it means the profit made at this particular instant is what? $26,000. We've gotten the total profit. We've gotten the what? Ratio. Then we cannot get Elon's and Aldo's share. So what will be Elon's share? E. Elon's share E equals to, what's Elon's fraction? What is E? E is the mid number, which is 6. That is 6 out of 13 times the total, which is what? $26,000. Same thing goes for Aldo. Aldo is A. Aldo is the last one, which is 4. 4 out of 13 multiplied by the total, $26,000. From here, we are going to get Elon's share, and we are going to get what? Aldo's share. 13 year 1, 13 year 2, that's 2,000 times 6, that's $12,000. So that's Elon's share. Then 13 year 2, 2,000 times 4, that's what? $8,000. So at the end of the day, Elon will take $12,000. Aldo will take $8,000. Is it 8? Yes. $8,000. And what does Bayo took? Bayo received 6,000. If you had to add everything, you should get 26. So this is 26. So $1,000 each. Let's take the last question under this before we move to percentage change. Now look at this question. Three brothers have to share a sum of money. We don't know the money they have to share. But we are told, if the first brother received 1/3 of the money, we are giving 1/3. In this time around, we are not giving ratio. We are not giving the ratio. We are giving a fraction already. So the first brother, let the first brother be A. The first brother received what? 1/3 of what? The total money. The second brother, let's call it B, received 2/3 of the remainder. From 1/3 of the total, what will be the remainder? The total is T. From this total, the first brother took 1/3 of the total. We can factor the total out. Or from here, we can write this as over 1. So from here, we can also write this one as what? T over 1 minus what? T over 3. So the LCM is 3. So that's 3T minus what? 3 and 1 minus T. So that's what? 2T over 3. So up from 1/3 of the total is T. The first brother took 1/3. What will be left? 2/3 will be left. So after the first brother took his own part, this is the remainder. Then the second brother B took what? 2/3 of the remainder. What's the remainder? This is the remainder. Which is what? 2T over 3. From here, 2 times 2, 4, 3 times 3, 9. So it means the second brother actually took what? 4/9 of the total. So be careful. Most of them just write 2/3T here. 2/3 is the remainder. So the second brother is not taking the remainder, he's taking a part of the remainder. Or what's that part? 2/3 of the remainder, which for me is what? 4/9. Now before we proceed, since we know the fraction of the first two brothers, let the third brother be C. We can actually get a fraction of the third brother. Why? From the total, we are going to remove the fraction of the first brother. We are going to remove the fraction of the what? Second brother. I can write it as T over 1 minus T over 3 minus what? 4T over 9. If we remove this and this from the total, we get the what? Fraction of the third brother. The LCM here is 9. 1 here 9 times T, that's 90. Minus 3, 9, 3 times 3, 3T. Minus 9 here 1 times that's 40. 90 minus 3T is 60. 60 minus 40 is 2T. So it means the third brother is actually taking what? 2/9 of the total. This time around, we don't need to get the ratio. But we can still get the ratio, multiply through by 9. So that will be 3:4:2. But the thing is, we already have the fraction. So we're now told, if the third brother received 600 naira, so that's big C. If big C, which is equal to 2/9T, if this C is 600 naira, what is the sum shared? We are looking for T. T is sum shared, total amount shared. From here, 2 here 1, 2 here is what? 300. So it means T equals to 9 times 300, which is what? 2,700 naira. So this is the amount that was shared. So then ask, what is his firm share? 2,700. Hence, find the share of the first two brother. The first brother is A. A will take 1/3 of the total. So A will take 1/3 of T. And T is what? 2,700. 3 here is 9, so it means the first brother will receive 900 naira. Then the second brother is what? 4/90. 4/90. So the second brother is taking 4/9 of 2700. 927 is 3 times 4, 12. So that's what? 1,200 naira. Sorry, this is B. So these two are not shared. The first brother will take 900, second 1, 2, and the third brother is taking 600. So if you add 900 plus 1, 2, that's 1,700. Right? Sorry, that's 2,100. 900 plus 1,200 gives us 2,100. Plus 600 from the first brother, that's 2,700, which is total shared. So with these 5 examples, I guarantee you can solve any question regarding ratio and proportion. Any question. Just that sometimes they can link this question to percentage change, or they can link it to profit and the likes. But it is purely on this from primary level till JAMB level, meaning from year 6 or grade 6 till grade 12. With these 5 examples, you should be able to solve any question on this area. So we are done with this. Let's now move to percentage change. Now we are done with the first one, ratio and proportion. Then let's take percentage change. What is change in percentage? Suppose we have a worker that is currently receiving 200,000 as salary, and has a promise that by the following month the new salary is going to be 250,000 naira. In this case, what happens? There is increase in value. There's a change in value, which is an increment in this case. So what's the change? Or we can say, what is the increment? The increment is what? 250,000 minus 200,000, which is the new minus original. So let's call this one the first value. Let's call it V1. The second value, let's call it V2. So from V1 to V2, there is an increment. So that increment is what? V2 minus V1 in this case is going to be 250,000 minus 200,000, and that will be 50,000. So there is 50,000 increment on what? On the initial payment. On the initial payment. So what's now the percentage increase in this case? So that will be the increment, which is 50,000 naira, divided by the initial value, which is what? 200,000. Note, it's always the initial value. So this is a fraction. So, but if you cut this way, we are going to get decimal. So in order for our answer to be in percentage, to convert decimal or fraction to percentage, we just multiply by 100%. So you can either cut this, we can also cut this with this. From here we have 4 zeros, 4 zeros. So I have 5 left here. I have 20 here, 1. Then 20 in 100 is going to be 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So in this case, the percentage change or the percentage increase is what? 25%. So in this case, we are given the initial value and the final value to look for the percentage increase. Sometimes you can be told to look for the new value. For example, now a man's salary is increased by 40%. In this case, we are given a percentage increase. Find his new salary. If his old salary was 160,000, before you look for the new or the old, we need to know the increment in this case. So what will the increment? The increment is going to be the percentage of the old salary. So the old salary was 160,000. So let's look for 40% of what? 160,000. Because it is this 160,000 that was increased to a new value. So here, 2 zeros here, cancels 2 zeros here. So this will give us 4 times 16 is 64. We have 2 zeros here, 1 zero making 3 zeros. 64,000. So this is the increment. So it means the salary has been increased by 64,000. So if the salary was 160, what will the new salary? So the new salary is going to be the old salary plus the increment. And from here we get the new salary. So the answer is going to be 224,000. From 160 to 224, the increment is 64,000. But there is another way we can do this without looking for the increment. The salary was 160,000 before. If I multiply this 164 by 1, I'm not changing anything. This is still the old salary. 1 is taken as 100%. So initially the salary was intact. There is no change in it. So if the salary is now increased by 40%, it was 100% before. Now it has been increased by what? 40%. So we are going to add the percentage to this 100, this additional percentage. So 100 plus what? 40 is what? 140. So the salary was what? 160,000 before, which is 100%. They've now increased 100% by 40%. So meaning we just multiply this one by what? 40%, which is 40 over 100. And that will be the new salary. Sorry, 40 plus 100 is 140. That will be 140 over 100. And that is another way of getting the new salary in just one single step. 2 zeros cancel 2 zeros. 16 times 14 will give us 224. Then we have 2 zeros here, 1 0. 1, 2, 3. So this is the final answer. Same way, in a single line. So meaning, without looking for the increment, we can look for the new. We just add a percentage to 100%. So if we have increase, we can also have decrease. Let's take an example that, based on decrease. The salary of Mr. Maiwa was reduced by 25%. In this case, reduction. If there is reduction, we have to first look for what? The decrement or the reduction. What will decrement? 25% of his old salary. So the old salary was 164,000. What will decrement? We multiply by 25%. So 2 zeros take 2 zeros away. So 164 multiplied by 25 will give us 4100. Then we have one extra zero here. So that's 41,000. So meaning the salary will be reduced by what? 41,000. So what will be his new salary? His new salary is going to be the old salary, 164,000, minus the reduction in salary, which is 41,000. From here we get his old salary to be 123,000. So from 164 it has dropped to 123 because of the 25% increment. Or alternatively, his old salary 164,000, which is 100% intact initially. But the salary is now reduced by what? 25%. So what are you going to do? If it's increase, you are going to add 100. But reduction, you have to remove from 100. So if you remove 25 from 100, that's 75. So it means his new salary was 75% of its old salary. So that will be 75 over 100 multiplied by 164,000. 2 zeros take 2 zeros away. So 75 multiplied 164 will give us 12300. Then we have one extra zero here. So what happened? The new salary is going to be 123,000. This looks faster. This is the first level of the difficulty. Second level now is, we know the initial value, we want to get the final. So if you are given the final, sometimes you'll be given the final and you'll be told to look for the initial. That is a bit difficult than this, but it's not really difficult. So you must be careful. For example, consider the next question. Now, consider this question. After 20% increase in the number of students in a school, the current population is 144. It means the new value after increment, let's call it P2, the new population, is 144. Now, what was the population? We are looking for P1. Note, some students might make the mistake of increasing 144 by 20%. They will look for 20% of 144 and add to it. That will be wrong. Or some can look for 20% of 144 and remove from it. It's also wrong. So what we are going to do is, initially, we don't know the population, P1, we don't know it. When that population was increased by 20%, that value becomes P2, which is 144. So this is what the percentage increment. What's the increment? Then the population was 100%. When the population was now increased by 20%, 100% plus 20% is what? 120%. It means when the population was increased by 20%, we have the new population. We want to get the old population. So P1 equals times 10 cancels 10 here. I have 12 by 10 equals to what's the new population? 144. So from here we can say 12 here 1, 12 here 12. So P times 1 is P. 10 times 12 is 120. So it means originally the school had 120 students. After 20% increment, the new population is 144. The first two questions we solve, we are looking for the new value, but here we are looking for the old value. So look for old value. If you are not careful, you might make a mistake. Now look at this question. 65% of a class population are female. So it means the percentage of female in the class is 65%. No one needs to tell you that the percentage of the male will definitely be 35. Why? 65% means 65 out of 100 are male, so are female rather. So then the rest are going to be male. How do we get the rest? We do 100 minus 65, and that will give us 35. So if you are given percentage of male, we know that of female. If you are given the percentage of female, we know that of the male in the classroom. But we are not given the total percentage. Sorry, the total number of students in the class. So we are told if the number of male students in the class is 70, so the number of male in the class is going to be what? 35% of the total population. We are not told. So, but we are not told that the male in that class are 70. And what's their percentage? 35%. So it means 35% of the total population is what? 70 male students. So the question now says, how many students are in the class? So we want to get the total number of students, T. From here we can say 35 here 1, 35 here is 2. So 1 times T is T. 2 times 100 is 200. So total number of students in class, we have 200 students. We are done with the first part. Hence, how many of them are female? So the female in the classroom will be what? 65% of the total population, which is what? 200. 2 zeros, 2 zeros. 65 times 2 is 130. So it means out of the 200 students, 130 students are females and 70 are male, as given in the question. Let me scare you a bit to this last question under percentage change. Under percentage change. The number of students in a school decreased by 20% after a change in the school policy. So the school policy changed, so the population decreased by 20%. What was the population before the decrement? We don't know. Let the population before decrement be X. So what happened? It was X before X. This X was not decreased. The population then was decreased by 20%. No, this X is 100%. From 100, if you remove 20, that was 80%. So meaning after the change in policy, the population is what? 80 over 100 of X. Because X decreased by 20%. So in this case, we can write as, in decimal, 0.8X. Although we can still decide to leave it in fraction. Now, the population gradually increased by 40%. Perhaps the policy was against some people interest in the school. Then it gained other people's interest and the population increased by 40%. What now increased was not X. It is 0.8X that now increased because the new population is now 0.8. So this 0.8 was now increased by 40%. So this 0.8 was complete before. I can write as 1 times 0.8 X or 100% of 0.8. What happened? This population that decreased now increased by 40%. If you add 40 to 100, that's 140. So it means the population after the gradual increase is what? 140% of the initial. And from here, okay, I think let me use this whole number part. So this is 0.8. Let me just write as what? 80 over 100 x. So this initial one is the new population after the policy. This is what the population after the second what increment, or after the increment. This decrease, this increase. So we are told if the current number of students is 560. Note the initial number, the original number was x. This one. Then x decreased towards this. Then increased to this. So this is the current number. We are now told that the current number is what? 560. If the current number is 560, find the number of students before the policy change. The population before policy change is x, so we are looking for x. So what can we do here? 10, 10, 10, 10. So we are having 14 times 8 times x, then 100 at the denominator. This 100 can multiply 560. So here becomes 560 with this 2 0, 0, 0. Then what is 14 times x? That is 112x. So to get x, we divide both sides by 112. And from here, we can get the value of x to be 500. So in the school, the population was 500. Then that's what? The population before policy change. And the number immediately after policy change. The number immediately after policy change is this. After the policy change, the new number is 80 over 100x. What is x? 500. So that's what? 80 over 100 times 500. 2 zeros, 2 zeros. 8 times 5, 40, that's 400 students. So what happened? Initially, the school had 500 students. After policy change, there is 20% decrement and they fall to 400. But the policy change favors some people or some parents. What happened? The number later increased back to what? 560. So in real life situation, it means sometimes you need to take some tough decision. When some decisions are made, initially it looks negative. There will be a drop. But with time, it's we can see the positive side. Then there will be increment. So what happened? There is increment of 560. And if this policy change is positive, the population will keep growing. We already saw 5 questions under percentage change, so we are done with this. So the next is for us to look into percentage profit and loss, which is a special case of percentage change. In fact, interest is a special case of percentage change, while depreciation is a special case of what? Percentage decrease. This increase, this decrease, and this is used in commas for both decrease and decrease, whether profit or loss, which we are going to look into.